Hello and welcome back to Robscure Music. You know, I don't know if many of you realize that nearly every day, or it could be every day, is a national day of something or an international day of something. You've got, National Donut Day and all kinds of different things. Well, yesterday was April 6th, and April 6th is the International Day of Sport for Development and Peace. Tomorrow, April 8th, will be the International Day of Pink, which is basically in support of the LGBT QIA plus community and, raise awareness of bullying and so on. Today, as I'm filming this video, it's April 7th, which is the International Day that encourages the protection and highlights the ecological importance of the beaver. So in this video, I thought what I would do is show, I think it's approximately 15 album covers, I guess, or back covers that are somewhat risque, somewhat suggestive, perhaps improper. These go from mild to wild and beyond. And certainly some are not safe for work, as they say. So I'm going to show you what I can. I don't have all of these albums. So I will be putting some up on the screen, little images to show you the cover when I can. There are some that I am not going to show at all because, and then some of them, some might be inappropriate. For example, Blind Faith's album, if you know, you know. Led Zeppelin, Houses of the Holy, with the sort of images of the backsides of naked children and so on. But, this is just some that I kind of went through. And honestly, I got the idea for this video because there was something I picked up recently that you'll see in my other video showing the acquisitions in the month of March. One of those was this particular compilation called Big 10 Inch. And, I have 10-inch records. I've got quite a few 10-inch records. For example, this one by Joe Jackson. This is Look Sharp. 2 discs. Still has the button. I never took that out. And yes, it's a 10-inch record. It's not that big. However, I'm sure if you were to ask any teenage boy about this, they might not be thinking of records. As a matter of fact, if you look down here, this is a cornucopia of risque, what does it say? R&B, blues, rude blues, and double entendre doo-wop. Whole slew of different songs there. Very tiny print, so that might be a good thing. Anyway, let's see what we can do to get this party started, if you will. Crystal Gale. Somewhat suggestive. She apparently appears to not have any top on. Has sort of a come hither look in her eyes, but fairly mild. Next, we go to actually one of my favorite albums by the Cars, Candy-O. And perhaps that's Candy laying on the top of a car hood. Again, somewhat suggestive of this well-developed woman, if you will. Speaking of women, everyone has seen this album, Herb Albert, Whipped Cream and Other Delights. Somewhat risque, obviously, back in that day. I've got an album by Donovan, Mellow Yellow, somewhat anatomically correct images here. Buckingham Nicks, Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham. Apparently, when they were younger and couldn't afford clothes, it appears. Everyone's familiar with this album. Carly Simon, No Secrets. Nah, no secrets there. Let me jump to this one first. Tori Amos. Quite an interesting back cover. Again, somewhat suggestive, I suppose. Now I've got a couple that I'm just going to show the images because I just don't want to. I don't have the albums, so I don't want to go and buy them just to show them. So let's see how this works. There's an album that I saw in the record store. Spanish, I assume it is. Pica Picante Pica. Chistes, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Solo para adultes, which I think means pretty much like jokes only for adults or only for adults, something like that. Anyway, again, I don't think those are dance steps that they're showing, but who knows? Maybe it is. Then, of course, there's Great White, Hooked, and what can I say about that? It is what it is. Next, we go to Mom's Apple Pie, self-titled album. And then we move on to Roxy Music, Country Life. Now we've got Tom Waits, Small Change. And then there is an album, or I don't know if it's an album or an EP by a group called Unrest, Animal Park. Or maybe it's Animal Park and the album is Unrest. Nevertheless, here it is. Now this is not the full album. It's cut off at the bottom. Apparently, this gentleman thinks it's a good idea to cook something on the stove without any pants on. The actual album shows that he has no pants on. Then we have John and Yoko, Two Virgins. And I am not going to pull it all out. Oh no. Not going any further than that. Then I've got a Ringo Starr bootleg called Down and Out. Well, there's Ringo. He's down. I had to put these labels here. Okay, another album. This is the final one I'm going to show. This is a group called Ivory. This is not the back cover of the album. This is actually the inner sleeve for the album. Because the cover, and again, I have to use some Post-it notes here. Is like that. So that's it. A couple of the risqué album covers that I own and that I know about. So hope you enjoyed this. If you didn't, let me know in the comments. Anyway, happy International Beaver Day. Stay well, friends. And remember, if the music strikes a chord, let it play.